breathing, right? So you have a comfortable seat. You do appropriate effort, make appropriate effort to align the structure of the body. And then the goal there is to release anything extra. So you aren't, in fact, holding yourself up at all. You're releasing that holding quality and letting that feeling of releasing go straight through. In this case now, it's in through your buttocks, through the chair, and rooting into the earth. But when we stand up, that same feeling you're working on through the legs, through the ball of the foot, and to the earth. But so when meditating, we're just working on releasing where we're grabbing, softening as best you can. And we'll just take about, let's say 20 or so nice, long, full, complete breaths. In the nose and out the nose or the mouth. Initially, our breaths are two-part breaths, inhale and exhale. Naturally, though, they become four-part breath, which is inhale all the way to the top and then just suspend yourself there. Just float in a nice full breath, holding. And then exhale when you're ready, all the way out. And then you hold yourself empty for maybe 1 second, maybe more. And then you inhale when it's time. So either two-part breathing or four-part breathing, just another bit here. And gently open the eyes, slide your hands onto your thighs here. Spinal movements. Forgot to let people in here, sorry. So your hands on your thighs. And we move the 24 vertebra into flexion, which is slightly tilting the pelvis, dropping the head, sliding the hands forward, opening the back, spreading the shoulder blades, get a lot of lovely sensation there. And then do its exact opposite. Relax that effort, come back to neutral, and go lifting the chest, pulling the elbows back, lifting the chin, opening the throat. Let's do that twice more. Slide the hands forward, rounding, opening the back. And then releasing that and arching. We're just breaking loose the muscular and tissue prison that our body is often caught in by just moving it through its ranges. If we take our body through the ranges of motion that they're built to explore, it does some sort of, again, nourishing, feeding the brain and healing the nervous system. And doing it in a way that's meditative is a big piece of Tai Chi and Qigong, a way that's in the parasympathetic state, in the calm state, in the relaxed state. Let's take our twist. You take your left hand to your right knee, right hand to right hip, and turn the shoulders, turn the head to the right. And just think of this like a winding or an unwinding or a wringing out of a rag, just a wringing out. And then releasing that effort, come back to center. We're going to do that twice to each side. So take right hand to left knee, rotate, twist, get that feeling of wringing it out. And then back to center. One more each way. Rotate. And reverse. And rotate. And reverse. And hang the arms. Now this is if you drip water out of your right ear, just drop the head, let the spine just droop a little bit. Let's do the most minimal version of this one, and then we come back to center and go to the other side. So you can repeat that one. It's very minimal, right? Because it's just hanging gently to the side. The next version of that would be let one elbow, the opposite elbow of the direction you're going, rise as you reach a little bit more towards the floor. And then switch. And we'll do one more where we take it to the maximum, where it's drooping. And then if you're here and your shoulder isn't blocking you, then you could just float the hand up, and now you get that extra little something something as you're leaning away from the lifted arm. So make sure your head is going away from the arm that's up, and then we switch. All right, so we're dropping the head to the side, which naturally brings the opposite hand up. That's right. And then we droop and return to center. Now, shoulders, shoulder blade, right one rises up and melts down. Left side rises up and comes down. Now, both of them twice, rising, holding, and then melts soft, 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 soft. Again, rising and holding, and then soft. Now, bring your legs close together. Shoulder blade circles. Right shoulder blade first comes forward slightly, up, back, down. And we repeat. Forward, up, back, down. Do a few more. A key to this is right here. When you drop your shoulder blade down, you got to go to zero. You got to completely soften it. From that complete soften, then you go for another round. Back to soft. For another round, back to soft. It's very common that we don't do that, that once we see a movement, we tense up around the joint and then we just crank it, as opposed to go yang, yin, yang, yin. And that's a complete movement, and that's, again, nourishing to the brain and body. Other direction, sorry. Other direction, go back, up, forward, down. Back and up, forward and down. And you'll see the arm going on a ride, but it's going on a ride because of what my shoulder blade's doing. And that's the key to this exercise. So don't let your arm be leading it. Lead from the shoulder blade in your back. Couple more circles. And switch sides. Other arm, forward, up, back, down. Continue. And then we switch directions on the same arm. Back and up, forward and down. Again, just trying to make the movements complete by going on a journey and going back to zero. Going on the little journey, going back to zero. One more. Back to zero. Now both lean a little bit forward, round a little bit forward, arms and shoulder blades come a little forward. Now lift the elbows with the shoulder blades and go back. And then drop shoulder blades, elbows, and fingers. Forward and up. So now we really let the arms go on the ride. But they got to stay soft. The arms aren't leading, they are following. So it has a sort of almost ballet-esque quality to the movement, or a modern dance movement, because it's, again, complete all the way through. It has a sort of gracefulness to it when we allow that. Other way, we go back, up and over, and roll forward and let it finish to a zero, complete zero. Lean back slightly, roll it up and over, let it get to a zero. Back, up and over to zero. Two more. And back to center. And then this one is often a little bit trickier for the brain. So first level is do a full complete circle with the right, full complete circle with the left. So you're alternating. You're going one complete, other complete, right? Stick with that one, or take it up a notch where you do right one halfway through its circle, start the left one, and then be completing the right one, and then completing the left one. And now you're like two wheels that are just spinning on either side. And what you'll find is that's initially difficult to command both at the same time, which is a big thing of what Tai Chi is doing. Go ahead and switch directions, go forward. Again, you can go forward one and then forward the other, or try to get that alternating circling going on. Circle, 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 and complete. Step your feet back to a little wider. Lean over and take your left hand on your right knee. Lean a little bit to the side like we did earlier. Let this arm hang and then do small circles. Now pay attention to the ball and socket joint in your shoulder. Feel how the bone is moving around in the socket. It stays moving in that same circular direction. You can get bigger. Same circular direction. Maybe you sit upright and draw that circle on the wall. But notice in the socket, it's the exact same experience. It's just moving in that circle. So we're either here or we're upright, but it's the same circle. Go ahead and pause, lean over again. Let's do the circle in the other direction. So feel it from the socket. Circle, circle. Again, a lot of times the eyes see the hand and then we start tensing up the hand and try to do it from the hand with all this tense, versus let go of all that and just swing it around soft. Water, like a hydraulic system. And then maybe you sit upright and keep that circle going. And then release down. Let it hang. Switch sides. Right hand to left knee. Lean it over. Get that feeling of hang and then draw circles. But again, focus not just on the hand circle, but really in the socket. What's the movement that's happening inside of that ball and socket joint? Get as large as you'd like, possibly even sitting upright. And then let the arm hang. Switch. Circle. Other direction, circle. Feel it in the socket. Maybe get a little larger and possibly sit upright. Just training our body to move with ease. Getting out of our own way. And let the arm hang. Now, fold at the elbow creases, compress, relax the elbows, feel that open elbow and drop the hands back down, and then slight bouncy quality in the elbows. So now feel this pathway here. Notice where my hands are in relationship to my body. They just float up and down. Notice that I'm not shrugging my shoulders up and getting in the way. I'm staying soft and just saying, hands come up, hands down. My hands are not coming up in front of me at all. They're just coming right close to me. Now, once you get to here the next time, float the hands out in front and then sweep them down. Do it again. So draw that little pathway. Notice that's quite an involved movement. It's using all of our joints in concert with each other. The wrists are involved, the hands are involved, the fingers are involved, forearms are involved, the elbows are involved, shoulders. This is a great example of some of the Qigong and Tai Chi movements. They have this fluidity to them. Try to keep the wrists relaxed. Look at my wrists here on the way out. So all the way out, the wrists stay dropped like this. And then on the way down, they come there. All the way up, the wrists dangling. See how I'm just shaking my wrists? They're so relaxed. That's Tai Chi hands here. And then they just naturally sweep down. One more. Palms up, hovering in front. Again, you don't need to hold your arms here. If you have shoulder injuries, keep your elbows close to the body. And turn the palms down and up. Pronate and supinate. And then palms up, keep them up. Go in, out just at the wrist, but let it finish through the fingertips. So your wrist is going in, out, and it finishes through the feathers, the fingers, the little crane feathers. And then feel that circle and go in, fold, down, through, and out. Spin the palms up, through and fold. Fold, circle, circle. Maybe even now get the whole arm involved. See what I'm doing here, drawing back, elbows go out, around, spirals. Some of these movements come from something called silk reeling Qigong. Silk reeling is a whole practice. And then we do the other way. Spin your palms out, drop, and spin the hands up. Spin, round, and open. Open. Circle. And then you can get the whole arms involved where it's out, back, out, back. These spiraling movements, the body needs them for nourishment, needs that. The brain needs it. The brain is built to execute these weird sort of spirally movements, and they're medicine for us. And drop. All right, now palms open, facing forward, turn the palms up, lift chest, chin, arch the back. Oh, and pull the elbows now behind you and down, and feel how that opens the chest. And then the hands rise slightly. Tiger claw into a fist. Wrap the arms around. Press the pinky side and elbows together and pull inward and round forward and bow down the head. Close. Then open. Elbows go out. Palms face down, forward, up. Lift chest and chin. Now pull the elbows down and slightly behind you. Oh. And then hands go up. Claw, wrap around, fist, press, squeeze, closing. Let's do two more. Inhale, open. Remember, this is really good for many things, but one of which is the lymphatic system. So holding here, squeezing the muscles around the shoulders and armpits and chest. And then exhale, claw, wrap, fist. Now we're squeezing those muscles around the chest and back and shoulders in a different way, helping lymph drain. One more, inhale. The lymph is an aspect of us that is so important to health. It's this fluid that is basically the garbage of the body that needs to move through, but it doesn't have its own heart to pump it. Our movement is what helps to pump it. Our breathing is what helps to pump it. Now, open yourself to the middle. Sweep the arms out, down alongside you, and scoot to the back of your chair. Now we go Hands in Tai Chi fist, which is again a soft fist, a fist that has space in it, not compressed, but open. And then bring your right knee up, heel close to the buttock. That's known as chambering. Set it down, switch, chambering, down, switch, chambering. So notice how you're sort of shifting your weight to one buttock and chambering. Shifting, chambering. So it's kind of like we're doing Tai Chi shifting here. We're shifting our weight over to one side and emptying the other and the other. Now, push and reverse and set it down. Chamber push and chamber down. Chamber push, chamber down. Now on this next one, chamber push and hold. Point, flex, point, flex. Can you get your toes? You see my toes clenching, spreading, clenching, spreading. Now, hold the foot and go a little in and out, slightly in, slightly out. And then inward circles, in and around. Outward circles, out and around. And then chamber, down. Chamber, push, point flex. Invert, a little in, out. Then inward circles. Outward circles. And chamber and down. Hands come down. Scoot to the front edge of your chair once more, all the way to the front edge. Now, a couple things with our hips. Left leg first, lift the ball of the foot, swivel on the heel, open. Lift the heel, swivel on ball of foot, closed. Swivel on heel, open. Now we should be even more open. Swivel on ball of foot, closed. Last one, open. Hold open, and then slide your hands out to your inner knees and push open. Open the hips. Then massage that inner thigh out to the knee. So you can get sort of groin area all the way out to that knee. And now we walk it in. Internal, lift heel, external. Lift toe, internal, lift heel, external, and neutral. Let's go the other way. External, lift heel, internal. External, internal. Final, open. Slide those hands out and press. And rub. And let's walk it back in. And we're back to neutral. Now, slightly different with our legs. Step your feet a little wider than hip distance, and then let the knees fall in. So you have this sort of awkward position. And get the outer edges of your feet to be somewhat off the ground. Now we're going to do the exact opposite of that. Open. Now lift the inner edges of the feet and roll those thighs open. So there's this sort of corkscrewing or rolling open and then rolling close. You can also feel it in the ankle joint, right? Feel your ankles go through that interesting experience of rolling and rolling. It's also for your foot bones, right? All the bones inside your feet are getting this interesting sort of experience that when we just walk on flat plains all the time, we often don't do enough barefoot outdoor walking on the uneven earth. Then those joints, those little movable bits in our feet, they lose that awareness. So this is one of the ways to help that. Last one. And then let's bring it back to neutral. Now, legs stay stable, hips fold. Fold. And then sit back up, and not just up, but lean back. How far can you lean back? and then forward. So we're just focusing on ball and socket joint movement. So now this is the root of the next exercise, this folding and then unfolding at the hips. Now, from the neutral position, lift chest and chin, arched back, folding, and then watch here as the round. Now, once you're rounded, stay rounded and move from the hips all the way up till you're sitting vertical, and then lift chest, lift chin, and then bow and round. And up and arch. And bow and round. Shaking loose the heavenly pillar. So really notice the difference or the unique opportunity of this exercise versus the one we were just doing previous to that, which was just folding at the hips with a held stable spine, which has its value. And then the other opportunity of releasing that grip on the spine and letting it gently undulate. Last one. And we're back up to sitting. Step your feet wider apart, then hip distance. Take your hands on your thighs. Now make this movement for me. Swivel on the ball of your hand and internally rotate your arms, and then externally rotate your arms, which is bringing them back to this position. Internally rotate. Notice how there's a natural sort of rounding and you got to fold forward a little bit for that. And then you come back. So it kind of pulls the body into position. Now do that again. Stay here. Fold at the hips and drop yourself in between your shoulder blades, a little bit in between your legs. And then let's sit back up and lean back as you let your arms rotate externally. Now, as you come forward, rotate internally those arms back to that position and bow through and up and leaning back. One more time. This time we're going to stay in, but pause in the middle and watch me first. So I drop on in, and then once I'm here, I stay here and I drop one shoulder and elbow a little bit down and forward, and I twist and then release that and twist the other way. So come on in and join me. So bow forward. And then once you're in there, don't try to keep looking up at the screen anymore, but instead pay attention to your body and just see, oh, what kind of a rotation or gentle twist can you get to create a little release of tension, breaking up of barnacles and stuck spots. And come back to the middle after you're even and sit up nice and tall, leaning back, and then turn slightly to your right, bow forward, and now we sweep it through. The dragon stirs the sea with its tail. The dragon stirs the sea. Nice big sweeping motion around. Big sweeping motion, as large a magnitude of movement as you can get there. And the other way. Bowing and sweeping it through. And around. Bowing and sweeping. Last time. Bowing and sweep. And we find our middle. Bring the legs back together. Sink chi to the belly. Hands come up and over. Settle, 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 settle. Hands hover right in front of the stomach area. What's called the middle dantian in Qigong and Tai Chi in Chinese medicine. 2.5 inches deep into the belly button. Deep to the belly button. This idea that when we are at rest, that's where the life force settles, and like a investment account, when the chi is settling there, it grows in interest and it creates dividends and it builds. So we attend to that restful place and deep to the belly. 2 more breaths here. And then release the arms down alongside you. Now, you're sitting at the edge of your chair, feet back up just a little bit so they're under the knees, folding at hips, bending at elbows, having your hands in fists here, and then come off the chair by going a little forward. Notice this position right here, and then push through the earth. And notice how the rooting down brings you up. You don't have to hold yourself up. Relax. And then we sit, stick the butt back. Notice I haven't bent my knees. And then sink. And then sit vertical, relaxed. So there's a little journey we take. But then at the top, total relaxation, complete ease, very important. And then push the butt back. We take a little journey, controlled descent, but then arrive back at nothing, total rest. 2 more. Now 4 squats where you don't sit in your chair. You sink, 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 and then think better of it and rise. You sink down, feel there's a thumbtack on your chair, and you say, whoop, and you come back up. 2 more. This time hold for 4 breaths. And rise. 1 more. And rise. Tai Chi squats. Different than your standard squat. Because, right, we just did standard squats where we stick our butt back to squat. Now with Tai Chi squats, there's no sticking your butt back. It's tail sinks, knees open, ankles open, feet open, and then rise. Just let your tail sink and then rise. Tail sink. This time hold that sunk position. Feel your body weight go a little more to the balls of the feet, middle feet, back feet, heels, middle feet, front feet, middle, back. So feeling what we've just experienced is 2 planes of movement. One was sort of vertical, right? Up and down, straightening the knees, bending the knees. Now we're feeling this horizontal plane where our center needs to be able to stay relaxed and stay held or stable, our center, even if we're tipping forward and tipping back. Now, add to that tip forward, tip back, this letting of the hands float a little bit forward. And then the allowing of the hands to sweep back. Hands forward. Hands back. But notice, I'm not going very far forward right now. I am going behind me a little bit and then like a pendulum, just letting them swing. But notice my elbows aren't bending. I'm not forcing the hands up anywhere. It's just soft, small, subtle. Now on this one, keep those soft wrists like we had earlier as you rise. And then as the hands come down, rock back. Rock forward, hands rise. rock back, and sink. Take that a step further. Rock forward, rise. The hands float back towards your chest. The elbows have to get out of the way. They float back. And then sort of like you're pushing something down, press and relax. Again, rock forward and rise. Rock back and let that bring the hands back. And then you rock towards the middle to bring those hands down. Rock forward and up. Rock back and reverse. And then settle. This is called pung to an. Pung is rising energy. Slide back is part of that. And then the an is the sinking energy. Sinking, sinking, sinking. We're letting that energy experience itself in our body. Rising. Back. Sinking. Now we reverse the flow of that with this movement that we've been working on. This move. Out, keep the wrists relaxed all the way out, and then down. Rising with the hands, rocking forward into the balls of the feet, the hands unfurl forward, and then rocking back as they come down. The hands are rising sort of like they're coming up under the armpits, and then unfurling them as you rock forward a bit, and then down. Up under the armpits. And down. Now one of each. Pung to an. And then this movement that gets us ready for lu, which is gliding, sliding back. Pung to an. And then this movement. Good. Turn palms to face slightly towards each other. Wings. The wings open this cavity here in the shoulder space. Feel that as like a little pocket inside your shoulder space there. And then hands float down. Too often what happens, we're tight, we're locked, we're moving from our hands, we're sort of tense everywhere, we're coming up kind of like this, we're jamming, we're in our own way, versus everything relaxed, totally out of the way. Up it goes, easy, easy. Crane flaps wings, 2 more. And really think of this as about a qualitative thing you're looking for, the quality of space and ease. Just so easy. Now, to open these shoulders even more thoroughly, turn your hands like this. You see how I have them. Back of hands facing, they're almost pressing together. Come up the middle, and then almost like you're swimming, hands sweep out. We've all done probably the breaststroke swim. Come up, close to the body, and swim. Now, can you execute this movement from those shoulders, feeling that shoulder space being released and opened? Now, wings. At the top of your wing, turn both arms so the palms face up just at the elbow joint. Fold. Hands come close towards each other and drop down. Totally empty the arms from the wings. Roll and fold. And down. Wings. Roll and fold just at the elbow, soft and down. Wings. Now, one arm over top, roll and fold, the other like a crane wing coming down, embrace moon. Then, like that up and out movement with the right, wing with the left, and now left up and over, right like a wing comes under, moon. Reverse that, and moon. As you open to the wings, you can slightly straighten the legs coming out of your Tai Chi squat. As you go to the moon, you can gently sink the tail and arrive holding the moon. One more of each. Arms out to the wings. Hands sweep down. Knees slightly bent. Bring the right hand up with the palm facing the body. Turn the palm and push that palm forward. Turn the palm so the palm faces the body, draw that hand back. So initially it's just a push. It's just the hand and arm pushing and drawing back. But we add to that. Now as you draw back, turn your torso a little bit to that side. Rotate your chest to that side. So you're almost sort of loading up. Then turn the palm and turn back towards neutral, push, and even turn too far so that you're turning more and turn the palm to face. So now you're drawing back by turning the torso first, and then the hand comes back. Then you continue turning the torso to get the hand to come behind, and then you turn it over and push. So now we're getting a nice little bit of a twist through the body, especially if you're in a little Tai Chi squat. You try your best while doing this to not let your knees do this and this. Can you keep your knees bent and stable even as you turn the waist and torso, and then come back and turn the waist and torso? Don't let the knee collapse. And turn back. Last one. Bring the hand back and settle the hand down, switch hands. Left hand up, turn, push, and then add that little bit of twist. Then turn the hand and pull back, and that little bit of twist, but don't let the knee collapse in. So that's kind of a weird challenge to your brain, right? Because it's very easy if I do that, my left knee wants to turn in, but if I try to open that, you feel this thing called the quad, this groin area here, have to stay open. And then you draw back, and as I turn this way, I have to keep my other side quad, this groin area, open, not closed and collapsed. Try to add that to your brain. Now, if that gets too complex, if you start to be like, doesn't make sense, then just do it softer. Don't let the knees do too much that feels weird to you. Now, we're going to do both. So as your left hand pulls back, bring that right hand in and push it forward. This is called repulse monkey or repel the monkey. So we're in place and we're just rotating. And then the hands turn over and we're rotating. And the hands turn over and we're rotating. Rotating. Repel the monkey. Eventually we do this one while walking backwards. So we're putting all this stuff together over time. All right. And now keep your right hand back, or whichever hand is back, bring the other hand back, and just do a couple double. Push and reverse. Notice when you push, there's a tendency to want to lean into it. But if you went with it too much, you'd fall forward, right? So this is this idea of keeping your Mingmen or your door of life back, even as you push, and then bringing back. So we don't go push and fall over, right? We go a little bit forward, but then we sort of keep ourselves centered back and then bring back. We push and keep ourselves sort of centered and then back. Two more. Push. And push. And reverse. Hands come down. Weight shift. So now, all of your body weight, place it above your right leg now. Place it there in a way that the weight goes through and pierces the ground at the ball of the foot. So now that your other foot is emptier. Then shift to 50-50. Keep shifting. Find yourself placed now over the left leg and feel, the right leg is now empty. Maybe it's completely empty. Shift middle and to the right leg. Shift middle and to the left leg. Now you can see what I'm starting to add to that has nothing to do with my hands. It has everything to do with belly, torso. I'm shifting and then turning slightly. I'm shifting, turning slightly. Now, you might add a little something with your hands, but could you make it 0.000001% of effort? So, because too often, as soon as people start seeing, oh, look, his hands are doing something, I better, really put a lot into it. No, put like nothing into it. But don't put truly nothing. Put just a little bit of poetic imagery into the bear washes paws in the stream. The hands are a result of the shift and the turn and the softness. The hands can't do what they're meant to do here without softness. So that's why we did all the joint mobilization. Now, coming over to this side, put left hand behind your back, right hand only. Brush knee. Sweep the leg. Now we're going to go brush knee, crane wing, roll, fold, pause here. This is loaded. Remember we just did pushes? This is loaded for a push across. Shift, turn, push. Then let the hand drop. It goes into the water. Shift, turn, brush knee, crane wing, roll, fold, shift, turn, push. Can you keep the idea of 0.0001% with the hand and arm? Instead, wield the arm from the belly. Wield the arm from the belly. Softness is required for this. As soon as you tense up, and it's very common to tense up when we're learning something, then you just lose that connection. But you soften, you find that connection. Now bring the left hand out, sweep across, put right hand behind your back. Left hand only, sweep or brush the knee. Let's crane wing, roll, fold. Now we're ready to shift, turn, and unleash that push. The hand drops into the water. We shift, turn, brush knee, crane wing, roll, fold, shift, turn, push. One more, shift, turn, through, roll, fold, shift, turn. Now as you push, get the right hand ready. As the right hand comes down, left hand comes up, roll, fold that right hand. We're ready to shift, turn, brush knee, and push. Crane wing, other hand comes down, roll, fold, shift, turn, brush, push. They change through. Shift, turn, brush, push. Now, whatever effort you're using to execute this movement, take some off. Maybe it's just a small percentage point. And then take a little bit more off. Make it softer, make it smaller. Make it more subtle. Connect to the earth a little bit more. Feel your belly a little bit more. Last one. Now, as you come across one more time to your left leg, right hand comes down, left hand points up. Right foot is empty. Step it slightly behind, toes turned out. Sink your way through that right leg, empty the left foot, and pick it up off the floor. Golden rooster. And then set it down, toes turn out, change the weight. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. Step out in front, light touch. So we're not doing anything too crazy, but you want to feel, okay, I'm changing, changing, changing. And then this other foot is empty, so I can, in fact, touch the floor lightly, bring it back, shift and change, feel that change. Okay, now this is my standing leg, this is my empty leg, golden rooster. One more. Good. And then back down with both hands. Now we're going to do a little walking practice to finish, but sink chi to the belly, like we did earlier. Hover the hands in front, bring the mind to that point, 2.5 inches deep to the belly button. Rest the mind there, let the chi settle back to there. And then cross hands and release down. Now our walking practice. I'm going to turn sideways. You don't need to turn sideways. You just stay facing forward. Make sure you have a little bit of a runway in front of you. Empty your, I'll say the opposite still. Empty your left foot like we just did in our position and place the heel out in front of you, lightly touching. Now shift your weight as if you're getting ready to walk and then pause. So the back foot should be empty-ish. And then shift. Front foot empty. Shift. Now pay attention to, can you execute this with very little effort? Can it sort of be like you're falling or releasing yourself through that movement, this rocking? Now, adding to that, can you lift the back foot, then put it back down, pour the weight, lift the front foot? That just is a sign, yes, it's empty. Shift, change, yes, it's empty. Now let's take that a step further. Shift, empty back foot, and then just let it float through. Touch the heel in front. Shift, empty back foot, but don't step. Now we go backwards one step. Be careful, right? Shift back, pause. This foot is empty. Swing it through, touch with the toe, shift back. Empty front foot. Let's do that again. Shift, through, shift, empty. Backwards, shift, empty that foot and step it, shift, empty. Let's do two more. Shift, you can add to the challenge by saying, I'm stepping up and over something, and shift. Same thing on the way back. Up and over something, and back. Last one. We switch legs. Bring that front foot back. Again, I'm going to walk over here. You just stay where you are. Just switch which leg is out in front. Let's do just the rock. Forward, back. So again, seems like a very simple exercise, and it sort of is, except it's something we all take for granted until we start to get too stiff or we start to lose our balance or something happens like to the nervous system in terms of Parkinson's and things like that. So it's so helpful to train these basic exchanges between our body, back and forth, in a soft, effortless way. That's the key, is the quality of soft and effortless. Now we take a step. Shift. Shift back. Wait for it to be empty, then step. Shift back. Shift. Step. Shift. Shift. Wait for the empty. Step it safely. Then you shift. Right? Very many people will walk like they only barely get into that front foot, and then they step into that front foot, and then they step into that next foot, and they step. And that's where it's very dangerous versus getting very good at emptying one, emptying the other. back. Empty this one, step it, then empty the other. 2 more. Last one. Good. Now, feet together. Make sure you have a little bit of space to your left. Now we do the side step. Key to the side step is not doing this. See what I did? I stepped and put my weight and brought my whole body versus this. Notice just the leg, then shift. Just the leg. Shift. Just the leg. Shift. Just the leg. Shift. Leg. Switching directions, we keep this outer foot empty. We go in, out, and then shift. In, shift, out, shift, in, shift, out. Good. Let's do one more set of those. Adding to it, if you'd like, shift and turn and bear, sweeping. Step in, shift and turn and bear, sweeping. Step out, shift and turn and bear, sweeping. Step in, shift, turn, bear. You can even do this with shift, turn, brush, knee, and push. Step in, shift, turn, brush, knee, and push. Step out. This is more classically done with our hands play with clouds exercise, but just notice shifting, turning, hands change. Now we go the other way. Shift, turn, brush, knee, push. Shift, turn, brush, knee, push. Shift, turn, brush, knee, push. Hands change as you step. Shift, turn, brush, knee, push. Shift, turn, brush, knee, and push. Shift, turn, brush, knee, push. Last one. Let that left hand drop. Back to the middle. Final walking exercise that we'll do today. Again, make sure you have everything you need for safety out there. We're standing like so. Just watch me do one round. I empty my right leg. I turn it out. I shift into it and I turn, change my orientation in the room. Then I empty the same foot, empty the right foot, turn it out, shift, turn, and change the orientation. Empty the right foot, turn it out, shift, turn, change the orientation. So go ahead and start in on it if you'd like, when you're ready. So once you understand it, we're going around in one direction. You want to make sure the leg is empty. So the challenge is shifting, turning, and bringing yourself to match. So we're not turning when we step again, right? We're separating the turn out of the leg and then going together. Then we empty the same foot, turn it out, bring it together. Turn it out and bring it together. Now, once you finish one round, let's go back the other way for one round. So turn out your other foot, shift and bring it around. Turn out that other foot, shift and bring it around. Turn out the other foot, wait for it, and then all as one. Shift, turn, bring together. Then empty that foot, turn it out. Shift, turn, bring together. And once you're back to the starting gate, pause there. Sink chi to the belly. Hover the hands in front of the belly. And we do our finishing gesture called big open, big close. Hands rest on the navel. One hand on the belly button, other hand on top of that hand. and then small circles to bigger circles. 18 going out, spiral, 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 getting slightly larger, larger. Get to the point where you're just on the belly, but you're at the very edges of that, the outside of the belly, the diaphragm just below the rib cage, then down around the pubic bone, above the genital area, right? That big circle. On number 18, pause on the way under, and then come back the other way, big close. We're going from big to small, 12 circles, spiraling. This is a sort of closing qigong gesture that spreads everything out and then brings it back, gathers it all. Real small circles, last few, right around the belly button, right around the belly button. And then just pause here. If balance permits, close the eyes. Drop any residual grabbing, holding, or tension in your body. Let the mind truly taste zero. What they call wu-ji, wu-ji. The time before there was anything, the space before there was anything. The time before taiji, which is the yin and yang play of existence. So we tap into that wu-ji state. Final 3 breaths. And then we close the practice with the Taoist bow. The hands naturally can just slide like so. One thumb goes in. That hand makes a little fist around that thumb. These fingers are folded, and you have a little yin-yang symbol, kind of a cute little symbol. And thank you, everyone. Nicely done. If you have questions or comments, feel free to chat for a bit after. Yeah, and have a seat. And especially if you felt a lot from the practice, as sometimes happens,